At the park, Harrison wants Claire's advice about what to get Nikki for her birthday. So far, his ideas are a microscope and cotton candy machine, which would stay at his house. Claire teases that if Kyle's paying, they should go big and get something as fancy as Gigi is. Harrison nods. That sounds great. They joke about buying Nikki expensive jewelry or a horse. Harrison would name a Narrison after him and Nikki, or Narrison. Claire turns more serious to suggest something smaller and more personal. Harrison asks her what she bought when she was a kid, but remembers she grew up with a witch. Claire and Harrison agree the thought of Jordan doesn't scare them as much anymore. Getting back to the gift, Harrison puts his fingers in his ears to have thinkin' time. Eventually, Harrison shouts, "I've got it. He'll make something for Nikki." Claire and Kyle approve. The kid urges Kyle to get him the horse, and then he'll reveal his plan. Finally, it comes out that he wants to do a family book for his Gigi. He moves away from them to do more thinking. Kyle thanks Claire for skipping work for this. They talk about being the boys' safety net. The conversation turns to the party and getting Victor on board. Then they can live together in peace. They share a laugh about Pietro's ideas, and Claire is sure Kyle will make Victor change his mind. Kyle's unconvinced but loves her optimism. Harrison watches as they kiss. Kyle muses about having to find the magic switch that changes Victor's mind about him. Claire ways Cole adores her mother so much, he couldn't be mad anymore. Kyle gets it, but doesn't know the method. Ashley creeps into the Abbott house and calls out, "Hello." Jack appears and is surprised she's early. She couldn't wait to get home. He asks what she thinks. Ash says it's worse than she thought it would be. What the hell was Diane thinking? Jack begins to panic, and then she smiles. What's not to love? Diane did a fabulous job. Diane, on the stairs, hears this. Diane joins them, and Ashley tells her she did a wonderful job. Diane tells her how much her approval means. Ash says John would have loved it too. He had very good taste. She thanks her for giving their home the respect it deserves. Jack admits he's relieved for both of their sakes. Ashley asks for a minute alone with her brother. Diane takes a little offense but heads off to work. Jack notices something is off with Ashley. Tell me what's wrong. Jack and Ashley sit in the dining room. She tells him after Martin attacked her in Paris, and she headed off to the clinic, she knew she had her work cut out for her. Jack says she healed. Ashley says that they then realized Martin was still alive. She tears up over the way that he devastated Tracy, who needed to be reassured that she was worthy of love. After, she started wondering if she was the one who was stupid and naive and desperate. Maybe her healing wasn't real. Martin sent her to that clinic, not Alan. He wanted her out of the way so he could dupe Tracy. Jack is there for her and wants to help. Ashley wants to take another leave of absence from Jedbot. She needs to go back to the clinic. Ashley won't go back there. None of the administrators knew the difference between Martin and Alan. But she will work with her therapist elsewhere. Jack urges his sister to take all the time she needs. He'll look after Tracy. Both of them need to heal. Martin cannot have the last word. Ashley assures her brother that he won't. Jack admires Ash for getting the help she needs. He hates what she and Tracy have been put through. He and Diane are planning a trip and will stay in touch with his sisters. Ashley hugs him as he assures they'll stop in Paris. Jack goes into work at Jedbot and tells Diane that Ashley has decided to go back to Paris and do some intensive work with her therapist. He wants to believe she's fine. Diane worries they should postpone their trip, but he won't hear of it. He'll keep tabs on his sisters. He grumbles about what this man did to them, and Phyllis and Sharon. Diane assures him Martin will pay for what he's done. Jack asks, will it ever be enough? Daniel meets Phyllis at Crimson Lights and tells his mother she seems a little manic. She tells him she's going to DC with Amanda because she works with Aristotle Dumas. She's meeting the man himself. Daniel asks when her appointment is, and soon realizes Dumas doesn't know about this meeting. So, it's an ambush. He wonders what she'll even say. Phyllis is presenting him with an incredible opportunity that's good for everyone, including you. Daniel warns his mother not to do this for his sake, and warns Dumas might think she's a stalker. Phyllis thinks he puts up roadblocks because anyone who gets to see him must prove they deserve to see him. She shares her idea is her and Daniel running Chancellor when he takes it away from Victor and Nikki. Daniel cracks up and then realizes she's not kidding. You know what, Mom? I think you've finally gone off the deep end. Phyllis is creating a vision and plans to follow through. Daniel asks if Dumas would just hand over Chancellor to a stranger he's never met. Amanda thinks it's audacious and creative. She's on board. Daniel warns Amanda can be pragmatic. Phyllis warns he's hurting her feelings and making her mad at the same time. Nikki's not a better fit to run Chancellor than her. Daniel has nothing but respect for her abilities. He reminds her Summer is a part of the Newman family. Phyllis is just going to run the company. Daniel asks, and Victor's just going to shrug that off. He won't try to change her mind, but she'll have to count him out. He wants no part of it. Phyllis keeps trying to persuade him, but Daniel respectfully declines. She doesn't understand. Is it me? Daniel says nothing has changed since the last time she offered him a job. Phyllis thinks he's smiling more. Daniel's glad it seems that way, but he doesn't want the stress of a job in a big company. Phyllis is trying to find something they can do together. Was he lying about wanting that just so he could cut her loose? Daniel needed time to get his head straight. Phyllis is glad to have the truth. She wasn't ready to hear it before, but she hears it now. Phyllis tears up. She just thought maybe she could find something to distract him. He assures her he'll be okay. He'll get better. Maybe then they can talk about work. For now, she needs to focus on herself and not worry about him. She tells him he wouldn't be able to stop worrying if it were Lucy. He'd do whatever he could to make her feel better. I will do whatever I can to fix this for you. Daniel says, you can't. Phyllis acknowledges this and hugs him. I love you so much. Daniel wants to talk a little more about Dumas and Chancellor. Phyllis shrugs, I need a job. Daniel chuckles, that's not a job. It's an empire, and she would be an empress. Is this about proving herself to everyone? Phyllis says yes. If Dumas took it over and gave it to her to run, it tells people in this town as a contender. They just see her mistakes and use her brain and talent and throw her out on her ass. They don't respect her, but they resent her. They never give her credit for anything because they're afraid she'd treat them the same way they treat her. If she ran Chancellor, everything would be different. I will talk to Dumas, and I will get Chancellor. You better believe I'll make it happen. Phyllis knows she exhausts Daniel and his sister. It's out of love. Daniel knows that, and he gets what she's looking for with Chancellor. Phyllis is there for him, when and if she needs him. He hugs her and tells her to be brilliant and safe. He leaves and Phyllis gets a text from Amanda. Are you still coming? Phyllis replies, Dumas won't know what hit him. She then exhales and looks determined. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. Here are the young and the restless spoilers for May 30. When family and friends gather to celebrate Nikki, Lily stands her ground, and Dumas sends a cryptic message to Genoa City. Victor and Claire may not agree on Kyle, but both are united in making Nikki's birthday gala the best it can be. The mogul has been showering his wife with presents leading up to the big day, and now that day is upon us. On Friday, watch for Nikki's friends and family to gather together to honor the Newman family matriarch. Will Victor's former lawyer Michael and his wife Lauren be on the guest list? A party wouldn't be a party in Genoa City without some drama. Lily has been adamant about wanting an audience with Aristotle Dumas. Amanda has informed Lily that that's simply not going to happen. But Lily can't rest until she fully determines whether or not Aristotle is a friend or foe. On Friday, watch for Lily to hold firm. Will she go back to Amanda and ask her once again to meet her boss? Or will Lily take a different approach and try to get a meeting with the mysterious mogul? We've seen Lily stand up to Amanda and also to Phyllis. Lily's not afraid to fire barbs back at Amanda's fiery red-headed pal as she stands her ground. Amanda telling Lily that Dumas doesn't want any harm to come to the Winters may not be enough to quell Lily's concerns. First, Dumas sent Amanda, his attorney, to Genoa City to let some people know a little bit about him. On Friday's show, watch for Dumas to send a message to Genoa City. If Dumas wants to reach a large number of people at the same time, he may send his missive to where many people will be at the same time and place. So Nikki's birthday party, which Pietro is helping Claire put together, could be a surprise party if Dumas opts to take advantage of many people gathering at once. Many folks in Genoa City have had opinions about Dumas. Those opinions may change once they receive Dumas's message. On The Young and the Restless, Audra Charles delivers her lines with precision, especially when she has a target for her razor-sharp tongue. But behind the scenes, Zulika Silver confessed she messed up on knowing what to say and when to say it. On Wednesday evening, Zulika Silver took to her Instagram stories to share with fans how she messed up. Silver explained that for the first time ever, she learned all of her lines for the wrong day. "I memorized the wrong episode," Silver said into the camera. She overlaid the screen with the text, "May the script gods be with me tomorrow." Adding that they were filming episodes out of order this week, she added, "I was so good, or so I thought. We're shooting that Friday, so I am working on tomorrow's material," Silver said with a wince and a smile. The Young and the Restless actress noted she was already working on the next episode, but thought she had more time. "No, I do not. We are shooting this tomorrow," she said loudly, admonishing herself. "That's why you gotta double-check. Damn." Silver continued with another short video, noting that the cool thing was that she was able to talk to her followers about the situation. She said she should be working on the script instead of talking to the camera, but felt she worked well under pressure. "Fun fact, I have ADHD, and so I have to have a color-coded Google Calendar. I have to be on top of my schedule because my ADHD mainly manifests as poor time management and things like that," she shared. Silver continued that she really had to get on top of her scheduling in college and created a system so she wouldn't run late with her assignments. "So times like this make me feel like I don't have it well managed, but I do. It's just that I didn't double-check the script date," Silver added. She told those watching that if they have ADHD as well, then they know the struggle that she was describing. "It's not really something I like talking about a lot, but it's very much a part of me," she said with a smile. Silver laughed as she added that another part of her ADHD is getting on social media and procrastinating. "But I'm going to get off, and I'm going to continue working on them, and I'm going to kill it tomorrow. Okay, I'm done venting. Bye," she chuckled. In the recent episode of the CBS soap opera, The Young and the Restless aired on May 29, 2025, Ashley Abbott returned home and saw the changes made while she was gone. She realized she still needed help and decided to go back to Paris for therapy. Phyllis Summers tried to start a business plan with her son, Daniel, but he shut her down. Though hurt, she stayed determined and prepared to meet Aristotle Dumas in DC at the park. Kyle and Claire helped Harrison come up with a birthday gift for Nikki. Claire stayed hopeful that they would win Victor's approval. Ashley Abbott on The Young and the Restless came back to the Abbott mansion and looked around at the new renovations. At first, she seemed unsure, which made Jack nervous. But she surprised him and Diane by saying the changes looked great, even though their dad, John Abbott, would have liked them too. Diane was happy to hear Ashley's words. Later, Ashley told Jack she had been so focused on helping Tracy that she forgot to care for herself. She didn't trust the Paris clinic anymore after learning Martin, not Ellen, had sent her there. Even though Ashley felt better, she still had emotional pain. She decided to return to Paris, not to the clinic, but to meet with her old therapist and work through the trauma Martin caused. Jack supported her choice and promised to care for Tracy while she was gone. After their talk, Ashley sat quietly, asking her father for the strength to stay brave. At Crimson Lights on The Young and the Restless, Phyllis told Daniel about Amanda working with Aristotle Dumas and her plan to fly to Washington, D.C. to meet him. Daniel thought it was a bad idea and warned she might look like a stalker. Phyllis didn't agree and believed her bold move would impress Dumas. When Phyllis suggested they run Chancellor together, Daniel laughed, which upset her. Things got tense as she felt ignored, and he grew annoyed. In the end, they made peace. Daniel said he wouldn't stop her but needed to focus on his own path. Phyllis agreed, though she still wanted to help him. After getting a text from Amanda, Phyllis replied that Dumas wouldn't know what hit him. At Chancellor Park on The Young and the Restless, Kyle and Claire helped Harrison think of a birthday gift for Nikki Newman. He decided to make a family tree book, but wanted to add a story to make it more fun. Claire cheered Kyle on, saying their plan would impress Victor at the party. Her support made Kyle feel more hopeful about fitting in with the Newman family. After Ashley shared her news, Jack told Diane everything and assured her that Ashley wouldn't want them to cancel their trip. Diane was worried about leaving during such an important time, but Jack said they should still go to Europe as planned. They stuck to their travel plans, but Ashley's emotional state left some worry behind. While Jack and Diane grew closer, others around them were still dealing with personal struggles, hinting at more drama to come. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of June 2 suggest that Victor Newman continues trying to draw Aristotle Dumas out. There is bound to be some drama at Nikki Newman's birthday bash. Plus, Sharon Newman faces a new crisis. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Next week, fans can expect to see more of Nikki's birthday party. Victor Newman has been giving Nikki one gift each day until her actual birthday. Nikki also made her husband promise no attacks until after her party. Then we have Victoria Newman, who was a bit panicked in a preview while talking to Pietro. While he promised a legendary party, it could be a bit too exciting depending on what curveballs happen. Clearly, something else is going to surprise the Newman family at this big event. Speaking of the party, Claire Grace Newman thinks this is the perfect chance to show Victor how great Kyle Abbott is for her. Claire plans on having Kyle pull off a grand gesture at the party. However, it is likely to backfire or go very wrong. In fact, it could ignite Victor's rage and leave Claire in an even more complicated mess than before. Over with Audra Charles, she's determined to get the rest of the money for her company from Victor. In order to do that, Audra has to show that she's actually making progress with Kyle. Audra is so desperate she could try to seduce Kyle, only to betray her romance with Nate Hastings. It just seems at the end of this, Audra might somehow lose both Nate and her new company. Over with Dumas, he is slated to send everyone in Genoa City a cryptic message. However, chances are that Victor will view it as a threat or attack rather than a warning. Without Michael Baldwin to simmer Victor down, will the patriarch make a huge mistake with Dumas? There is also the friendship between Daniel Rumalotti Jr. and Tessa Porter. Although Tessa is married to Maria Copeland, there is a big secret. So could that conflict lead Tessa into someone else's arms? Daytime stars put a lot of work into remembering their scripts, and given the fact that they tape so many episodes during a short amount of time, well, like we said, it's a lot of work. So what happens when you memorize scenes for the wrong episode? This recently was the case for the Young and the Restless Zuleika Silver, who posted on her official Instagram stories to further explain. You know, it's one of my favorite things that I do sometimes, was actually the first time it's happened to this degree. Zuleika shared then stated, I memorized the wrong episode. She went on to explain that the show had been shooting out of order and continued, I was so good for tomorrow, or so I thought. We're shooting that Friday. During the taping of her post, the actress added, "So, I am working on tomorrow's material." She admitted that she was sorta already working on it, but thought she had time, then later realized, "No, I do not. We are shooting this tomorrow." Zuleika reminded herself that given situations like this, it's best to double-check, and noted that instead of working on the script, she was talking about what had happened because she works well under pressure, then revealed, "I have ADHD. How does that play into her work? I have to have a colored-coded cool calendar," she said, then recalled when she was in college, so she wouldn't run late. She created a system to help her meet deadlines and such. "Times like this make me feel like I don't have it well managed, but I do. It's just that I didn't double-check." She closed out the message by stating, "If anyone out there has ADHD, you know the struggle. It's not something I really talk about a lot, but it's very much a part of me." She then vowed to kill it tomorrow, and kill it she does, as Zuleika rocks it as Audra in Genoa City. In the daytime soap opera The Young and the Restless, the rivalry between Victor Newman and Jack Abbott is one of the central plots going on for decades. However, the daytime soap opera fans have had enough of their feud on the soap opera. The Young and the Restless is one of America's oldest and longest-running daytime soap operas. In the recent scenario of the daytime soap opera, The Young and the Restless, fans have been raising their views on Victor's vendetta against Jack and how it has been from the beginning of the soap. In a recent fan post, a fan by the name of Christina Jonason commented. The fan commented on a discussion post started by another fan named Missy Ashley on Facebook on May 29, 2025. Missy wrote, "Missy expressed how she has been watching the soap opera since a young child, and seeing Victor's vendetta against Jack has decreased her interest in continuing to watch The Young and the Restless." Many daytime soap opera fans agreed and said it was high time to end this. They commented, on the other hand, some soap opera fans shared how they would like to see the two of them become allies, while some fans commented that the storyline is getting boring. The most talked about rivalry on the soap opera, The Young and the Restless, is between the heads of two of the most affluent families of Genoa, the Newmans and the Abbotts. Their rivalry initially started a complicated love triangle between Victor, Nikki, and Jack. Victor was stunned when he found out that Nikki had decided to marry Jack over him. Their rivalry shortly converted into a professional feud, as the two came face to face in a professional setup. Anyhow, in the current scenario, Nikki is married to Victor Newman. While Victor tries his best to pass on his legacy to the next generation, they often go against his wishes, becoming entangled in romantic relationships despite his strong disapproval. How will Kyle explain himself? Harrison is agonizing over the perfect gift to get his great-grandma Nikki on The Young and the Restless. He finally had a brilliant idea on the May 29 episode. Harrison will make a book about his family tree, from Harrison to Summer to Nick to Nikki. Kyle seemed pretty chill about it. Is it because he doesn't see any pitfalls to his son's project? We do. For years now, we assumed that even though Harrison calls Summer Mommy, he still remembers Tara, his biological mother, and Ashland, the man he called father until the day Ashland died. But now, we're convinced that Kyle has completely gaslit the kid. Harrison was pretty young when he lost Tara and Ashland, and Kyle and Summer swooped in to play mommy and daddy. What if they've convinced him they're the only parents he's ever had? The other two were a dream, just like his life in New York City. Harrison said the family tree project was something he was working on in school. School projects like that often ask the kids to bring in mementos to illustrate the art. Things like a birth certificate, for instance. What if Harrison decides to surprise his parents with the finished project? So he doesn't ask Kyle for his documents, he just goes to get them from where he knows Kyle keeps them. This Harrison is presumably almost 10 years old, which means he can read, and he knows the difference between parents, Summer and Kyle Abbott, and parents, Tara and Ashland Locke. Is this the beginning of a story where Harrison remembers who he used to be, and how his mommy and daddy took him away from the parents he loved? How far is Sharon willing to go to reunite with Nick on My and R? Sharon is still carrying a torch for Nick on The Young and the Restless. The Crimson Lights owner is hopeful for a reunion with her ex-husband. But how far is she willing to go to make that happen? Sharon and Nick are one of Y and R's epic love stories. Like most Genoa City couples, they've gone through many breakups and reunions. In the past year, they've grown closer as Nick helped Sharon with one traumatic ordeal after another. Sharon's feelings for Nick have resurfaced, and it's made her hopeful of a reunion. However, any hope of a chic reunion might be thwarted by Nick's other ex-wife and Sharon's longtime rival, Phyllis. Phyllis is the reason Sharon and Nick's marriage ended, something that's always angered Sharon. Although she and Phyllis called a truce after their kidnapping ordeal, they might be back to fighting over Nick. During a recent run-in with Phyllis at the park, Sharon became jealous when Nick comforted his ex-wife. With Phyllis going through a difficult time, Nick will want to help her. Yet, his need to help Phyllis will only increase Sharon's jealousy. Fearing that she'll lose Nick to Phyllis again, Sharon might resort to drastic measures. Sharon's bipolar disorder has caused her to go down a dark path. She's done terrible things that have hurt her loved ones, including Nick. In 2013, she switched Summer's paternity results to make Jack her father. When her scheme was exposed, it led to another breakup for Schick and added more fuel to her feud with Phyllis. Fans have been worried about Sharon's state of mind since she's becoming jealous of Nick and Phyllis. Nick is the love of Sharon's life, and she'll always be left wondering what could have been if Phyllis hadn't come along. Many of Schick's reunions have been ruined because of Phyllis, and Sharon doesn't want history repeating itself. Sharon will do anything to hang on to Nick. The next 2 weeks on The Young and the Restless will be filled with high drama, fractured relationships, and a new powerful agent of chaos that will be a game changer. As the consequences of the fallout from Nikki Newman's birthday party take effect, the Newmans, the Abbotts, and those in between will experience rising tensions. Kyle may put himself in jeopardy with a rash decision, while Phyllis will engage in a reckless agenda that will have consequences for others. In addition, a cryptic message from Dumas won't just take Genoa City by storm, but also create a wave of rumors and speculation. As relationships become more tenuous, emotional stakes begin to rise, and longtime loyalties falter, Genoa City is preparing for a more explosive reality. Nikki's birthday celebrations will begin on the episode, set to be aired on May 30. However, the event will turn chaotic quickly enough. With the motive of impressing Victor and softening his stance on their relationship, Claire and Kyle will try to throw the perfect party for Nikki. However, this plan will backfire, and instead of impressing Victor, it may end up worsening his opinion of Kyle. Pietro will do his best job as a party planner. We will also see Aristole Dumas deliver a cryptic message, which will capture everyone's attention. Amanda may be the one to transmit this message, but this will test her loyalties to multiple people. This means that Dumas may soon emerge into the spotlight and reveal himself. Claire will be met with the reality that her grandfather may never support her relationship with Kyle, as their plan to impress him fails. A frustrated Kyle may drift away and connect with Audra. Though he believes he is manipulating Audra for business advantage, she will have sinister motives to lure him into a trap to destroy his personal and professional relationships. By the week of June 2 to 6, the fallout from the party will be seen causing ripple effects in Claire and Kyle's relationship, and Audra might seize this moment to rekindle with Kyle. This will also hinder her relationship with Nate. Aristotle Dumas's message will cause all kinds of confusion and speculation. Although the residents of Genoa City have no clue who he is, the signs indicate a big reveal is coming soon. And there are theories already flying around about whether he is Kane Ashby recast or an original character with an agenda. Lily will also enhance her efforts to arrange a face-to-face meeting with Dumas, hoping to learn more about him. Being caught between her connections in Genoa and her loyalty to Dumas, Amanda will be forced to make a hard choice. Phyllis will try to rope in Amanda and Daniel into her plan to gain control of Chancellor, though she lacks the resources to make it happen. When questioned, she will justify her motives by claiming that it is justice against the Newmans. But this move of hers may affect her relationships with her loved ones. Daniel will try to intervene, worrying about his mother's mental health, but Phyllis will not back down. Meanwhile, Michael will have difficulty dealing with his decision to walk away from Victor. Lauren will try to comfort him, but he will continue to feel guilty as he sees Victor's behavior growing erratic without Michael's support. Victor is ready to declare war against a lot of people in Genoa as he rages. His fury will affect Billy, Kyle, Claire, and even his children. Victoria will be pissed by his actions and demand him to stop sabotaging Claire's relationships. Victor's actions raise tension in the Newman family, forcing them to unite against him. Jack will also grow frustrated by Victor's actions, and while trying to secure Kyle's happiness, he may retaliate in ways he hasn't done before.